So we got some South African true crime today on this channel. I forgot the channel, my bad, sorry. Here's the channel. Link in the description to the original video. So as I said, some South African true crime. The name is too long to read. The story of Pamela. Let's jump into it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Pamela Ncumisa Selani. If you're new to this channel, I try and do these videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already and I will be doing more in the near future. With that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to the Eastern Cape, to a small town called King Williamstown, and subsequently we'll end up in Pretoria in Gauteng.
Okay, so it takes place in Eastern Cape, Western Cape. It takes place in Western Cape, in the town of Eastern Cape, or the city, or the area of Western. I'm not coherent here. I'm sorry. It takes place in Eastern Cape up until Gauteng in Pretoria. Dang.
Pamela Ncumisa Selani was born on the 11th of April 1977 to mother
Oh, okay.
Yaleka Selani. She is her mother's only child. She was raised in villages just outside of King Williamstown, where she also went to school. Unfortunately, she struggled a lot academically and eventually left school at Standard 9, which is now better known as Grade 11.
Grade 11, you.
After leaving
Not even a matriculant. At least you have grade 10 though.
School, she started working odd jobs, mostly as a domestic worker, until she met
a maid,
a young man named Mkolisi Jongwa, and they eventually
Do you have a picture of him?
Got married. Mkolisi stayed in Port Elizabeth, just 300 kilometers outside of King Williamstown, where Pamela was from, and the newlyweds moved there. Mkolisi was working for the municipality and tried very hard to provide for the couple. When Pamela was 23 years old, in the year 2000, the couple welcomed their first child. They named Avila Jongwa on the
why does he look like a gangster?
2nd of February 2000. Exactly 2 years later, the couple welcomed their second child, Sitenkosi Jongwa, on the
Motherfucker, we have the same birthday. Okay, no, mine is on the 27th of November, but still.
22nd of November 2002. Pamela would go on to dedicate her whole life to raising her two boys while simultaneously continuing to work odd jobs. Unfortunately, after having their two children, the couple's relationship started to deteriorate, and within 6 years, they had separated due to ongoing issues of infidelity. The husband had then moved into a shack with a new girlfriend, and mysteriously, he passed away in 2008 when the shack he lived in went down in flames. This case was sadly never solved. In an effort to start a new life, Pamela went and left her kids in King Williamstown with her mother and moved to Pretoria to find greener pastures. When she arrived in Pretoria, she stayed with her mother's sister Tobeka until she could find a job and a place to stay of her own. Soon, Pamela was able to find a job and started renting a place in informal areas just outside of Pretoria. And when she settled in, she then went down to the Eastern Cape to fetch her two boys, who were now 10 and 12 years old. Within no time after moving into this area, Pamela fell pregnant again by a man she had met in the area and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl she named Nkosivile on the 24th of August 2013. Unfortunately, this relationship with this man did not last. The man only saw the child once and soon disappeared. Sadly, due to her pregnancy, Pamela also lost her job, and in order for her to survive with her children, she would then take odd jobs where people needed help with laundry or cleaning. She would then avail herself.
What about the kids? Okay, we'll get to that.
Also used the child support grant, and this is how she survived. Not one to be single for too long, Pamela met and started dating Gift Piri. Gift Piri was an immigrant from Malawi, and the two of
No offense, but anyone called Gift, no matter their ethnicity or whatever, I just don't trust them. Gift,
them got along really well, to the extent of which Pamela even introduced Gift to her aunt, and the aunt also grew.
Okay, let's recap here. So Pamela, right? Let's recap. Pamela had two kids by a guy who passed away with his girlfriend in a shack, unsolved. That I guess not related to this case. It is, so it's gonna come back to it. Then she moved to Pretoria without the kids, got pregnant by a guy who left. Boom, got a daughter. Boom. Then she lived with her mom's sister. Then she moved out. She's in Pretoria by herself. Brought the kids there. Are you caught up? Cool.
Fond and close with Gift. Unfortunately, we don't have
Now she's with Gift.
any pictures of Gift, so I'm going to need you guys to take note of the name. It's going to be
Gift,
featuring
yes.
a lot in the story.
Gift, the Malawian guy. There's no picture, and there's no picture of the other guy and the first husband.
Even though Pamela was in such a good relationship with Gift, when she met an older man named Michael Ncumisa who proposed love to her, she did not say no. She decided that she would run.
Y'all are easy, and I can't get a relationship out of here. It's always the easy ones that you have to be scared of. It's easy to get a person, but it's a bit too easy, too good to be true sometimes, you know? Because this is a crime case, it's a true crime, so there has to be something wrong with this chick, or ma'am.
Both these relationships simultaneously. Ncumisa really fell in love with Pamela. He had no idea that she was dating someone else. So when he realized the living conditions that Pamela was living under with her 3 children, at the time she was renting a shack and lived in the shack with the 3 children, which is 2 boys who are now teenagers and a small baby girl that she had just given birth to. So Ncumisa was like, you know what, you guys can all move into my house with me. Ncumisa lived in an RDP house, and in his yard he had a couple of shacks.
RDP, for those who don't know, RDP, am I really South African? RDP houses are houses basically built by the government, and they have like a very specific design. Like, go to any township, you're gonna see houses that have similar designs. They're the same, but people just add like a room, garages to them, but they're the same RDP house
that he was renting out so that he could also be able to make an extra income, and on top of that he was also selling alcohol. So he had much better living conditions than Pamela did at the time. Pamela jumped at this opportunity and immediately moved into Ncumbisa's house with her 3 children while she was still dating Gift on the side. And Gift apparently was fully aware of the setup, but he seemingly did not mind. Ncumisa loved Pamela and her children and provided for them. If Ncumisa had a flaw, and we had to highlight this flaw, it would be that he occasionally came back from work drunk. That's the most he would do. Other than that, he worked really hard to provide for the children. There was always food on the table. There was no expectation for Pamela to provide food, and he offered the shelter. However, a few months into this relationship, he started suspecting that Pamela was doing something on the side. And this is when he started hinting that if you are doing something on the side, you are going to need to move out of my house. Pamela was doing something on the side, but she was also not willing to lose the comfort of this RTB house and the comfort of knowing that she doesn't have to worry where her kids' next meal is going to come from, because Ncumisa fully provided for everything, and she was just not willing to lose all of that. Pamela then went to her side boyfriend Gift and shared how she was really tired of Ncumisa, and she was also just explaining how, you know what, if we take Ncumbisa's life, you could move into the house, right? Meaning
That's why every true crime loses me. How? You don't own it. It's in his name. He pays rent. His name is in the lease. No, his name is in the records. If he passes away, then the contract is terminated. They just hire Red Ants or anyone to remove all of his things from the premises. Then they rent again. Then they rent it out to someone else. That's what the logic of all these true crimes loses me. That's why I'm like, that's when it went left for me. You could just move in with Gift or tell Gift to lock in and get a better job and make some money, but no. Yes.
That you also don't have to worry about where rent is coming from now, because you'd be staying under Ncumbisa's roof. And 2, we could then collect the money from the tenants in the yard. And then on top of that, we could also sell alcohol, because the community already knows that alcohol is being sold there. So there are a lot of customers. Gift was like, 100%, I'm in it. Let's do it. Tell me the time and day. We are going to take Ncumbisa's life. And in 2016, Gift and Pamela ambushed Ncumisa when he was coming back from work He was a little tipsy. Gift used a hammer to take his life, and the two of them would then go outside in the middle of the night and started digging in the yard, and this is where they put Ncumisa. They then went back into the house as if nothing happened. Pamela's 3 children were in the house when this happened. The oldest child, Avile, was 16 years old, Sitenkosi was 14 years old, and the youngest daughter was 3 years old.
14, youth.
After Ncumbisa's passing, Gift almost immediately moved into the house. Pamela's 2 sons were just not happy about this. They loved Ncumisa. He had provided for them for so many years. And especially Avile, the oldest son, he felt like Gift moving into Ncumbisa's house was just disrespectful. The sons were not the only people who were not happy about the setup. Ncumbisa's tenants and the neighbors were also confused as to what happened to Ncumisa. Ncumisa had not went anywhere for as long as he had been missing at that time. So at that point, they all decided that they would go to the police station and report him as missing. The police then questioned Pamela as to where is Ncumisa and what's happening in his home. And Pamela was like, Ncumisa is in the village. He went to the village. He said he's going back home to the village. I don't know where his village is because I met him here in Pretoria. So if you want to go look for him, please do. But the last thing that he said to me was that he was going to the village. And now the police's hands were kind of...
His clothes are here, his IDs are here, everything he has is here. That's dumb.
Tied because they were like, okay, then a grown man has gone back home. Who are we to say he's really missing? And that is where the case was left. So Pamela, Gift, and the kids then went on with their lives in Ncumbisa's home. They collected rent from the tenants. They continued selling alcohol. But unfortunately, within months, things started going south. Gift started laying his hands on Pamela, and the couple was just not happy anymore. Pamela had also decided to get another side that started another relationship with
Pamela. Pamela. Ish. Yes. What's wrong with people?
the man named Gava. So at this point, she was also over Gift. Gift, who was now slowly starting to fear for his own life, looking at the pattern of events of what was currently happening in the home, decided to visit Pamela's aunt and told the aunt what they had actually done to Ncumisa. And at this point, it was because he was fearing for his own life.
Gift arrived at my house and told me about your child. 10? You came at 10 and that? Okay. Dang, bruh. So they don't know where this guy is. They keep... But, okay, Gifted doesn't want to tell her that he knew what happened to Ncumisa. So, she's a manipulator, yo. You buried in 28 December 2021, 2016, 2017? No, man.
Went on to tell a number of other people. However, the next day, he then went to Pamela's aunt's house again, and this time with Pamela, and denied everything that he had said. So at this point, I'm not sure if maybe someone had said, like, this is what this guy's going around saying. And that's when Pamela was going around doing damage control. But he did not stop fearing for his life, because he could just see that things are just continuing to go south in the home. And this is when, again, he went back to Pamela's aunt, alone this time, and he said that if I ever go missing, if for any reason you never see me again, just know for a fact that Pamela did something to me.
I would have left. I'm not, no, if I'm suspecting that I'm about to get, I'm gone, bro. I'm not gonna, some people don't have anywhere else to go, so I can't really say that, it is what it is. Yeah, just go to the police yourself. But he doesn't because he is also involved.
And true enough, Pamela was actually plotting his demise, and this time she was plotting with her eldest son, Avile, who was only
What?
17 years old at the time. And the reason this happened was Avila had mentioned to her mom that he doesn't like the fact that Gift keeps putting his hands on her. Like, he's not happy with that setup. He's not happy that Gift is staying in Nchangisa's house. He's just not happy with Gift. And Pamela also shared with her son that, you know what, I'm also not happy with Gift. If it was up to me, I would say he must go away and never come back to the house. But he knows too much. He knows what him and I did to Ncangisa, so I can't just let him go. So therefore they then made a plan that let's then take his life, and they were going to take his life via red poison. So that night they went to buy red poison.
This method, they used to kill a lot of people in my car. See this method, red poison, dog.
When Gift came back from work, they offered him supper. As usual, they served him his supper. They served it with beer on the side. Little did he know that that was all laced in red poison. According to Pamela's other children, immediately after he started eating, within no time, started foaming in the mouth, and this is when Avile jumped in. He had a bin that he had filled with water, and then he stuck his head in that bin, and this is how Gift lost his life. And at night, when everyone was sleeping, Avile and his mom went outside to the same place where she had laid Ncangisa less than a year prior. They dug it
Oh my goodness.
up once more, and this time they put Gift inside. Now Pamela felt like she was free because
freeing.
no one else knew what she had done besides her own children, and she had told her children to never ever tell anyone. Sadly, not a lot of people asked about Gift because he was not from around. The only person who asked where Gift was Pamela's aunt, mainly because she had been asked by Gift to, one, ask Pamela where she is because it's probably her, and two, to tell the police. When the aunt asked, Pamela said that Gift went back to Malawi. So that was the end of it. Time went on, and now in the house it's just Pamela and her 3 children. The oldest boys had been very traumatized by everything that had been going on in the past few years. Luckily, the little girl had not comprehended much because she was much younger, but the boys were fully,
probably 4 by this point, 4 years old by this point,
traumatized by it. The oldest son, Avile, who was now 18 years old, had started heavily using substances after what he had done to Gift, to the extent of which he would demand money from Pamela to buy these substances, threatening her. If she wasn't going to give Avile the money, Avile would say, I'm going to tell everyone, and I'm going to tell the police about what's going on in your yard. I'm going to tell your neighbors, and they will come and ambush you here. I will tell everyone what you have done if you don't give me money. And at this point, Pamela was scared, and all the money for rent, any money that she had, money from them selling alcohol, money for rent, would all go to Avile, and that's even if Avile wouldn't drink some of the alcohol that they were selling. Pamela was starting to grow tired of all of this. The final straw was when Avile came demanding money for clothes, and Pamela could just not take it anymore. And this is when she used a brick and took her own child's life, just like she had done to her 2 past lovers. She took her son's life with that brick.
This point, wait, what the fudge at this point? This is absurd. This is like, what the fudge? What the hell? Man. Some people just Am I too civilized? Am I too behaved? Because, oh my goodness.
And then went to the very same place where she had laid her 2 lovers, started digging it up in the middle of the night, and this is where she laid Avile. And after that, this is when she told her 16-year-old Sitengosi that if you ever tell anyone, you can see what's going to happen to you. After the son Avile's passing, they stayed 2 years without any new
2 years? Nah, we don't care about our citizens, eh? We don't care. 2 years. Yo, me and this man say we're the same age while this is happening, bruh. Nah, bruh. Me and this man, we live two different worlds. He was constantly suffering, saying men's die, people die, his own brother die. Yo.
Incidents. However, Sithenkosi, the second born, was just not taking everything well. He was traumatized and he had started having nightmares and dreaming about his brother. This is when Pamela suggested that he goes to a traditional healer. The plan was always that he's going to go there, he's just going to be cleansed, and they'll do all the things that traditional healers do. And he wasn't supposed to tell what happened. So the boy goes and he goes alone to the traditional healer. And when he gets there, he starts telling all the details from the very first incident in 2016 with a Ncumisa to gift and next to his brother. He told the traditional healer each and everything that had happened over the past 3 to 4 years. The traditional healer performed some rituals on him, but on the very same note, the decision was taken that he has to tell the police, and 2, he also has to tell his mother's aunt, so basically his grandmother, everything that had happened. So after Sithenkosi had left the traditional healer, then went to his grandmother's house.
Unento ezimnyama ufaka into ezimnyama kuyo yonke indawo and then uthi ndivele enyangeni ndivese enyangeni ngumamam ngithi inyangeni uthi khona apha ereyini ndivele enyangeni.
The police were then called. Pamela kept denying everything to the point of which the police
Check the backyard. Just go to the backyard. There's 3 bodies there.
Police and the forensics went to Ncumisa's yard where Pamela was staying, and they started digging. And when I tell you that the whole community
during COVID
was there, people were taking pictures, some people were on top of roofs. Everyone was there trying to see what had happened in that house, because the community had started gossiping, right? It was never verified because nothing had happened. But after Ncumisa had gone missing, a lot of people started whispering that something suspicious was going on with that woman. When finally police got there, the whole community gathered and the police started doing their job, and eventually they were able to find Ncumisa, Gift, as well as Avile. They were stacked on top of each other. Even with all this mounting evidence, Pamela still denied it. Her version of the story was that the traditional healer and her son Sithenkosi had actually done this. They were trying to frame her. She even went as far as asking her son on the side to change his story to suit what she is saying so that she doesn't get arrested. That the grandmother in the Eastern Cape also begged the son to say that it was him.
The fudge, Granny. Grandmama, why you do this to me? What? Hell no. Look at this young blood. You want this boy to spend years in prison? They're not gonna treat him well in prison. He's fresh meat in prison. They're gonna torture him. Cruel. I don't care if your mama's old. She'll be fine in prison. They treat old people with respect in prison.
Fortunately, the son did not budge and continued to tell his truth. In the beginning, the police were really confused by the case, so all of them were arrested. Even the son was arrested. After a while, all the charges against the son, the traditional healer, as well as Gaza, who was also implicated, the new boyfriend, were dropped, and it was only just Pamela. Pamela went to trial. When I tell you that she showed absolutely no remorse throughout the whole trial, she
is savage.
She maintained her innocence till the end. Thankfully, with the overwhelming evidence against her, she was found guilty for all charges against her. Was sentenced to 3 life sentences and an additional 5 years for defeating the ends of justice. And on that note, we are going to be
My country's cruel. Oh, this world is a cruel world, you know what I'm saying? Yo. This man is my age, dog. Only a couple days older than me. Boy's been through hell. I don't know if he's okay, bruh. Oh, the daughter. Ish. I hope Guava's taking care of him. The auntie, she's cool. The auntie's cool. I hope they're taking care of him. Yeah, I hope they're taking care of him, you know? It's a cool world, bro. Yeesh. Oh, man. Don't know how to feel. But yeah, that's been me, Triple N King, with another video, bro. I don't know. I gotta ask this creator for permission to post this video. Yeah, but it's been Triple N King with another video. South African content, true crime. Yeah. Link in the description to the original video. Hope you like and subscribe. Peace.